So before we get started on this video, I have to disclose that this gun was given to me by Franklin Armory for a period of 90 days. I get to test it, review it, let you guys know what I think about it, make content, and then send it back. I did have to pay for all the dross fees and everything. All in all, I've spent a couple $100 on this gun, getting it fees, getting all the ammo, paperwork, that kind of thing. So this gun was free for me. However, I do not have any bias. I do like Franklin Armory, but if this gun sucked and I didn't like it and I didn't believe in what it was, one, I wouldn't have asked for them to send it to me, and two, I would let you know. So if you like this video, let me know, leave a comment below. Enjoy the video. If 3 years ago you would have told me that in the state of California we would have had 3 different AR-15 pistols on the California handgun roster, I would have looked you dead in the eye and said that you need to stop lying to me, boy, because that is just the biggest load of horseshit I have ever heard. But here I am in California in the year 2020 with an AR-15 made by Franklin Armory, the CA11, one of the 3 that they have on the California handgun roster. Let's talk about those today. I mean, just what a time to be alive. Now, the particular model that I have here is the Franklin Armory CA11. It's chambered in 300 blackout and has a billet upper and lower receiver. It's full of premium features right out of the box. It's got QD sling attachment points in the rear of the lower receiver as well as on the rear of the handguard and the front of the handguard, giving you a lot of options as far as mounting slings. Whether you want to run a 1-point sling real close or a 2-point at either the front or the rear of the receiver. The forend on this is actually very nice. It's got a strong Picatinny over the top with also Picatinny sections at the rear and the front. Basically in all the spots that you would want to have Picatinny and mount something, it's got it there for you. But it also has M-lock attachment points all over the mid section, giving you an ability to mount any sort of grip that you may want. Now it's got an 11.5-inch barrel with a rail that makes it right up to the end of the threads with a Triumvir 3-prong flash hider. I really like this flash hider. It doesn't cause any nasty concussive motion that's going to distract you or really bother you or the person next to you, but it cuts down on flash a lot. I was doing some shooting sort of towards a little bit lower light. I'm not going to say it's low light, but towards the end of the day, and normally with an AR-15 in the middle of the day with one of my muzzle brakes, I'm getting big old fireballs coming off this bad boy in broad daylight, but with the Triumvir by Franklin, I wasn't noticing that at all, which was very nice. Now, I know you're already asking, where is the stabilizing brace? Where is my foregrip brace? Where is my stabilizing Shockwave blade? Well, the answer to that question is pretty simple, but complicated at the same time. It's not on there. That's the simple answer. The reason it's not on there is because Franklin did not want to put the DOJ in a position where they had to rule whether or not a stabilizing blade was an actual stock, which would potentially ruin a lot of things for a lot of people. However, there is no current law and there is no current DOJ opinion out there that we know of that says you cannot put a stabilizing brace on this gun once you get it. Now keep in mind, I'm not a lawyer. I mean, just look at me. So, as always, do your own research when it comes to the legalities. However, I am not personally aware of any law that prevents you from putting a brace on this gun once you take it home. At an MSRP of $1,400, you're initially going to maybe think to yourself, Reno, that's really fucking expensive. Yeah, and you know, this is a fairly expensive gun when it comes to what's currently on the market, but here's the thing, it's not a PSA. Stop trying to make every AR-15 $400 and fall apart on you. This is a quality made firearm with a billet upper and lower, a nice handguard, a good muzzle device, solid barrel construction. This is made of premium parts. This is not made of Chinesium. That being said, you will most likely be able to find this for much lower than the MSRP of $1,400 if you shop around, as most places do have plenty of room to negotiate. So take your time, do some shopping, and get yourself a nice premium gun at a good price, because at $1,400 you're getting a lot of features that I think are nice to have in a nice gun. Okay, I know. The most important question of all and the most important feature of any AR-15, you're asking yourself, Reno, can it bump fire? So let's answer that question for you. Unfortunately, as you saw in the video, the answer is no. This gun, every time you fire it, you must cycle the action manually, meaning that it is a bolt action repeater. But fear not, you can get a semi-auto upper, slap it on here with a fixed magazine setup, and bump fire away. Because a bump fire a day keeps the doctors away. And if you want to know more about the legalities and how to get one of these guns, I made a video earlier this month talking about how to actually get AR-15 pistols, and I'll link that below, and the legalities of how to actually make it semi-auto and if that's legal or not. Whoa there, Bubba. Put down the drill press. Before you start taking a drill to your own gun to drill out this gas port and make it semi-auto, keep in mind that doing so will void the warranty. If you're gonna go the route of permanent modifications, my recommendation is find a gunsmith near you or online that you can send your upper to that can professionally drill and tap everything that you need to be done and convert it to semi-auto. My personal recommendation would be to pick up a semi-auto upper receiver, slap it on. That way you always have the original factory gun, so if you decide to sell it, it just reduces any hassle as far as do you have the original parts. So that's my personal preference. Okay, so let's talk about my gun, how I have it set up now, and why I think that this shit slaps. Okay, let's start off. I have an 11.5 inch 5.56 barrel. This is semi-auto, slate black Industries rail grip and forend. Hollow Sun red dot. This is powered by the sun and batteries. It's got a 50,000 hour battery life that just keeps running and will not stop on you. I have added an ambidextrous safety just because I like that on all my guns. This gun, all in all, is a badass gun. I was shooting it two-handed just like this out at range, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed this gun a lot, and I think this gun definitely fucks. Okay, so for this portion of the video, I kind of wanted to have a little sit-down discussion on like what I think the bigger implications of this gun is and why these guns matter. So what you as California gun owners know is that in California, the handgun roster really limits what we're able to get. And before this existed, for the most part, the only way to get a AR-15 pistol in California was by spending like $2,000 on Cal guns for a private party lower. And that's just ridiculous, honestly, but this, what it does is it allows the average person to walk into a gun store and say, hey, I want one of those 3 guns, and I want to run the background check today at a normal MSRP, which I think is huge, and I don't think people really understand that part of it. Now, I know some of you are going to scoff at the price of $1,400, but if you're looking to go the route of just completely replacing the upper receiver, and this might be what I would personally do if this gun was not given to me for review, I would go the route of picking up the CA7. You can get them for, MSRP is like $950, but I've seen them as low as $825 in gun stores fairly commonly, so I know that it's possible to get. So what you do is you go to a gun store, buy a CA7, make it fixed magazine, slap any upper receiver on it you want, just like I did to mine, call it a day. And then you have an AR-15 pistol for about $1,000, which previously in California, you're looking at $2 to $3 grand after you're all said and done, which this makes it more accessible, which slowly makes it easier for people to get into the gun shooting industry and the shooting sports, which is huge. Now, in addition to the tangible features of what you get, the intangibles I think are way more important. When you look at what Franklin Armory is doing, what they're doing is giving a massive FU to the state, saying that we won't be controlled or that we will work around these laws and we will play your games, but we'll beat you at them, which I think is awesome. Franklin Armory truly does push the boundaries on what is legal. I'm going to talk about in a future video how you could potentially maybe build your own Title I firearm, which I know you might be interested in. So if you're interested in building a Title I firearm, let me know in the comments below. All in all, this is huge, and I think people really should be more aware of the fact that any average person in California today could go buy an AR-15 pistol without having to jump through any hoops and while being perfectly legal. I really just want to say thank you to everyone that's given me support through this channel through the last coming year and so. It's been awesome. The biggest way that you can support is by always liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this page externally, because YouTube does not want us to exist on this platform. So if you share it externally, that allows more people to see me and see this content and understand what we can and can't do in California. So that's awesome. If you want to support me financially and monetarily, you can do that through the Patreon, which I will have a link for below. You get some exclusives, some little bonus content, but it does not affect you if you do not subscribe. So don't feel like you need to, but I do appreciate it if you do. I hope you all have a great day. Peace.